Hello there. How's everybody doing today? No, that's good. Thank you. Welcome to Mindset Mondays on Courageous and Creation. As you can tell, I'm not Cynthia or April. I'm Karen Slack, and I'm grateful to be here with you today. I will give it a minute to see if anybody's live, and then I will share with you the series of events that brought me here to you today. Hi there. Thanks everybody for joining. I was asked by Cynthia to join you guys today to bring an intuitive card reading or some intuitive insight to your day. There was a series of events. Cynthia was having some technical difficulties, and she asked me to step in with the Mindset Mondays because she couldn't get her technical difficulties figured out, which in the long run was a great way to encourage her to embrace some peaceful relaxation, which is going to be part of our topic of conversation today, and that's going to be our intention as we move through this reading. So just to introduce myself, I'm Karen Slack. I am an intuitive empathic energy worker. I read the energy surrounding situations, people, both living and sometimes past, and places. And I do that through different modalities such as guided meditation, intuitive readings, Reiki or inner light energy work, as well as some affirmation jewelry that I offer. And I do this with the intention of welcoming empowerment and self-awareness about our uniquely divine selves and the complexities that come with that. So thank you both to April and Cynthia for having me here today. And I'm excited to share some cards and some intuitive reading with you today, and hopefully share a little inspiration along the way. So, how's everybody doing today? How you doing with January 2021? Are you finding 2021 easier? Are you finding balance within your process? I know there's a bit of a glare. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. There's a glare on my glasses and I apologize, but it makes it easier for me to see the screen. We've had a lot going on around us between 2020 and the start of 2021. And I love that the series of events came through to bring me here today for the possibility of talking to you about peaceful relaxation. I'm grateful for Cynthia and April for reaching out, and for Cynthia for sharing with me a conversation about peaceful relaxation this morning. As she worked with her struggles with electronics, because we all have been there, the internet goes, electronics don't work, things don't line up. And that's my personal belief that a lot of times this stuff happens to shift us in a direction and to set an intention for a day that we might not have set already. So with that in mind, let's talk about a little peaceful relaxation. Before we get into the insight that I want to share and the cards that I would like to pull, I want to remind you that any of the tips, tricks, or ideas that I share with you are meant for spiritual entertainment and enlightenment purposes only. And if you have any physical or mental health concerns, please seek a physical or mental health professional. And if you hear my music on the background, it is music from Chris Collins. I got it off of indiemusicbox.com. He's got some great meditative stuff. He's also on the Insight Timer app. So there you go. So what are we going to do? We're going to move forward in an intuitive reading. It's going to be very similar to the way I do an intuitive reading with a client one-on-one. Thank you. And thank you. Yes, thank you everybody for joining us. It's going to be similar to how I would work a reading with a client one-on-one. We'll do just a little bit of a mini meditation to set our intention. And then we will discuss some insight and we'll pull some cards and see what insight they have. And our intention for this reading today is to help us understand peaceful relaxation a little bit better and how that looks for ourselves, and help us understand that there's a little bit more work behind peaceful relaxation than what we expect, but noble surrender in that work. Okay, so I'd love for you to join me. And if you have any questions along the way, or want me to dive into something a little bit deeper, or have any way that this information is hitting you on a one-on-one personal level, I would love to have you share it in the comments below. and let me know of different ways that you have welcomed peace and relaxation into your life, because it is such a important part in our process these days. And life is shifting where it's requiring us to find this peaceful relaxation, not just allow it in when it pops into us. So, let's get started. So I'll have you take a deep breath, close your eyes. Got my little incense going over here. Trying not to get it everywhere. Okay. There we go. Okay. Allow yourself to just take a moment to sit in the space that you're in. Take a moment to take a breath and recognize where you sit at this moment, if you're able to do so safely. Obviously, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Be wherever you are with your eyes open. Drive safely. Take a moment to recognize the sounds that are around you. The smells that are around you. Recognize your physical self, your emotional self, and your mental self. Where is your mind at today? And I want you to imagine that you are surrounded by a beautiful white light. Imagine that this light is washing all the way down through you, through your body, through your mind, surrounding you in a beautiful white, calming light. And we come into this place with an open mind and open heart. We are grateful for the inspiration offered in this space today. And we come in with the intention to bring a peaceful approach to all that we do. Instead of hurrying and worrying, we remain calm and relaxed and unruffled. And we choose peace in our body and in our mind. And we welcome insight in how to better embrace that peace and relaxation. Alrighty. So let's get started. So one of the first things that happened to me myself this morning is I was outside walking our dog, and the amazing sunrise was happening. There is sun just beyond me. As you can see, it shines in here. It is bright and beautiful and so well needed now. And when I was out there and I saw the sunrise, I just stood there and this intention came over me that I wanted to share with you. And the intention was that the sun rises on a new day and on new possibilities planted within our dreams the night before. So I feel like it was just an intention or an affirmation that started my day that I wanted to share with you, and that it shines some light on possibilities within our day. And it gave us the intention to be able to welcome in the energies that we are seeking within our life. And I feel like it reminds us to welcome in the possibilities in all things. We quite often get very organized and ordered within our life, and we want to see things happen a certain way, and we have a need to control and order our lives. We want things to go just so, and when they don't, we feel like we are maybe not doing things right, or we feel like it's a misstep on our part, when really those could be possibilities within our life to welcome a shift in our energy. And I feel like that shift in energy can be a space for us to welcome some of that peaceful relaxation. So then after that, I come inside and going about my morning with my kids and my dog and what have you. And then Cynthia messages me and asks me if I would like the opportunity to go live and share a card reading or an intuitive reading with all of you. And I was honored that she asked me, and she was sharing some insight that she had in a book that she was reading this morning. And that part of that intention for the day as she read this in her morning was peaceful relaxation. And it's a noble thought to welcome peaceful relaxation in our lives, but what does it really look like? You know, when we're actually getting down to the nitty-gritty of welcoming peaceful relaxation into our life, what does that look like? Peaceful relaxation is an act of surrender. And surrendering can be very difficult, even the small acts of surrendering. Like, okay, my coffee maker is not working. I'm going to go through my day on tea instead of coffee. Or surrendering all of what you do and moving into a different opportunity. So surrender can happen on a big scale or a little scale. And peaceful relaxation is an act of surrender to set down what we're working with and to allow the universe to take care of it for a little bit. And that can be very difficult. So the intention that we shared in the beginning of our little mini meditation to welcome the energy for our reading today, that was an intention that Cynthia shared with me as we were talking about this morning. And the intention is a very powerful one that I encourage you to use as well. Today, I am bringing a peaceful approach to all that I do. Instead of hurrying and worrying, I remain calm, relaxed, and unruffled. I choose peace in my body, in my mind. And it's a really powerful intention to start your day with, to start any meditative work you do with, maybe some personal journaling that you do. It's just a powerful intention that I love that Cynthia shared with me that I wanted to share with you. And that's our intention for this reading today. There's power behind choosing the peaceful relaxation in our life. Choosing those moments where, you know what, I'm going to surrender all that I have to do, and I'm going to welcome in a little bit of a peaceful relaxation into my day. I'm going to welcome in those moments of peace and relaxation. There's power in that. But with that, it requires us to actively choose it. It used to be the notion of peaceful relaxation was one that we just welcomed in occasionally in our life. It wasn't something we actively sought out a whole lot, but 2020 taught us differently. 2020 taught us that finding peace and finding relaxation are ways that we balance the chaos of life. So with that, there's power in choosing to welcome in those moments of peace and relaxation. Does that make sense? How's everybody doing this morning? Are you finding a little bit of that peace and relaxation? And where are you all coming from? I would love to know what parts of the world everybody's coming from. So that was a really cool, powerful intention that was set within me and Cynthia's conversation this morning. And with that, I would love to pull some cards so that we can see what they come up. See what they help us with the intention of welcoming peace and relaxation. And how is everybody finding that peace? How is everybody finding their best ways of celebrating some relaxation into your life? Hi, Mercy. Mercy, am I saying that right? Learning already, Karen. Thank you. Absolutely. I'm using 2 decks today. I was drawn to these decks when we were having a conversation about this morning. This one is a color card deck. I feel like color comes with a lot of energy in itself. I feel like I've worked with this deck since 2012. This is kind of my go-to deck. I find each color symbolizes a certain energy. A lot of times it correlates with certain chakras that we're working with within the energy work. If you don't know what chakras are, they are our energy centers in our body that help us when we are doing our energy work and help us with some self-awareness of different parts of our self-expression, physical self, mental self, emotional self, all of that. So the first deck we're going to choose today, we're going to choose some cards out of, is the Ina Segal color card deck. And I use colors a lot in the meditation work that I do as well. You can often take a color, meditate, like we imagine that white light around us in the beginning. You can use colors in meditations like that, replacing the white with other color. And that's a great way to set the intention to welcome in that energy into your life. So if you are sitting here listening to us talk about this peaceful relaxation, you're like, yeah, okay, nice concept, but how the heck do I welcome that into my life? I don't even know what that looks like or feels like. You don't have to know the specifics. Maybe you start out with picking a color and, okay, you imagine peaceful relaxation as a color. What is that color? And you pair a color with that notion. And then you imagine yourself surrounded with that color. That's a great way for you to welcome in the energy of peaceful relaxation without having to figure it out in your mind, without having to know the steps of how to welcome that relaxation into your mind. Okay, so let's pick a color. We're gonna go, okay, I'll have you ask. I've got 2 cards here that I'm thinking I want to pull. Which ones comes first, left or right? I would love for you to choose left or right, and whichever anybody chooses the most of, we'll pull that card. That is, while we're waiting for people to choose, one of my favorite activities to do is to, when I'm taking my shower in the morning or at night, imagine that the water is a specific color and that color is set with calming or left. Okay, we've got a lot of lefts going on. Calming energy or clearing energy. In this color, at that point in time, represents this energy. Clearly, we're pulling the left card today. Everybody is really needing this left energy today. I love it that everybody's in agreement. So when you're standing in your shower and you're like, this has been a hectic day, I want order. Okay, let's put a color to the idea of order. And imagine that color is washing over you as you stand in that shower. And that you're being washed over with the intention of order. Okay, so our color card on the left side, because everybody chose the left, is mauve. Enjoy clear hearing. So I love that this card came up, and I love that the notion of clear hearing is attached to this card. This completely, to me, aligns with the notion of hearing and seeing the possibilities within our day versus hearing them as struggle. And the image in my mind is having more of a clear, open hearing so that we can see the possibilities that are being created within our day and not have that muddled up or fogged up with our impression of things not going as it should. That our perfectly aligned list of ways the day is going to go and things that I'm going to accomplish and do to make me feel accomplished and worthy. And when that falls apart, we muddle it up with this foggy notion that we're not worthy of our day or that we failed in some way. This mauve color helps us and encourages us to open up our hearing, open up our mind, open up our thoughts, and open up our whole throat chakra in communicating the fact that when our days don't go as planned and they fall apart, maybe they're shifting to welcome in the possibility of something else within our life. And with that, we have to be open to welcoming in the possibility of peaceful relaxation within our life. We have to be, it's encouraging us. We don't have to do anything. Let's remove that word. It's encouraging us to be open to the possibilities that surround us to welcome in this peaceful relaxation. So I'm going to use Cynthia as an example today. She welcomed in that peaceful relaxation that showed up in her intentions as a possible intention within her day by taking the moment this morning to open up her book and to read about peaceful relaxation. So she was open to hearing that the change of events that happened within her day could be creating a moment of peaceful relaxation. And I think that this color is a very powerful color in the fact that it gives us permission to see the possibilities versus the muddied view of maybe I'm not doing this right, maybe I'm doing something wrong. we put so much pressure on ourselves to be and do a certain way. And that pressure is no longer sustainable for so many of us. I think it's so much more important to set some of that pressure down. Yes, it's important to push ourselves to move forward and to grow and to step out into the world a little bit differently. But I also think it's important for us to step back and to welcome in the possibility that some things in our life are created to slow us down, and to welcome in the art of peaceful relaxation. Relaxation and peacefulness is an act of surrender. In order to embrace the notion of peacefulness and relaxation, we have to be willing to set down all that we feel we need to do and trust that it's taken care of. It's not just not doing anything. There's mental work in allowing that peaceful relaxation energy around us. And it's the notion that where is it? We just had it. It's the notion that we're setting down the need for validation from all of those things we feel we need to accomplish before we allow ourselves the reward of relaxation. It's setting that notion down and trusting that we are worthy as we are here today to welcome in that relaxation and that worthiness. Years ago, I couldn't even see that choice. I may have just freaked in the past, which will still show, but surrender allows shift and sooner, I believe. Yes, absolutely. So the power in that moment, Cynthia, I'm sorry, I get excited about it. I'm excited about it because right there is this moment you're having, Cynthia. Right there is that clear moment of hearing yourself and witnessing the differences in yourself and witnessing the growth. That is the power in welcoming that peaceful relaxation. That's that divine, unique expression, your powerful, unique expression with connecting to this peaceful relaxation energy, is that you recognize that, yes, I'm still going to have that, a little bit of that energy where I freak out about the fact that everything seems to have fallen apart today. But you are really recognizing the power. Sorry, my daughter's here. Hi. You're recognizing the power that you have to welcome in that peaceful.
No, babies, I don't.
Hold that thought 1 second. Hello? If I could have your help, that would be great. I'm sorry. I just need 1 second and we'll be right back to these intentions. I'm in the middle of a live, so if you could go with Daddy, that would be beautiful. And if Daddy could close the door, that would be wonderful. Okay. Sorry, that was an amazing moment where my husband came in to take my daughter, and after being in the camper isolated for a week, it is such a beautiful thing to have him in here. So, that moment, Cynthia, where you recognize, you know what? 5-10 years ago, this would have taken me down and it would have ruined my day, and it would have sent you into a spiral of self-shame. And now you recognize that, you know what, some of that might still be there, but I'm also able to grow and recognize that this welcomes in this beautiful moment of peaceful relaxation and self-acceptance. That is so powerful. And it's those moments where we can say, you know what, I'm enough. This is great. I'm okay. And I hope you're okay that I share this, Cynthia. And I appreciate and honor you sharing your story and being able to be vulnerable with sharing this with all of us and using your story as an example. Thank you very much. But this mauve color brings with it the power. It's so funny because when I see the mauve, I automatically think of like old 80s wallpaper with those big mauvey weird roses. And how it feels. Quite often when we look at the mauve color, it feels kind of stale, but there's so much power behind this, but it's very silent power. In the most divine moments in our life, any experiences that I've had with spirit energy or divine energy, soul energy, is that divine powerful energy sits peacefully in the background, waiting for you to choose to find it. Because it knows eternal life. It knows, it's like a parent with a child. It lets us have our moment because it knows, the divine knows that choosing the power of turning towards that insight, turning towards that relaxation and welcoming it in, that's where the power happens. So things like the mauve color and the intention of true peacefulness and true love and true divine support and true divine understanding. There's a very open, patient awareness that it sits around us, waiting for us to grab it. And the mauve color today is giving us the intention, encouraging us to take the intention of simply hearing it. So one of the intentions we can set with this color to sum up and welcome in this idea in our life is, I clearly hear and see and feel the possibilities of peaceful relaxation within my day. And that's an intention that you can take. And that's very obviously very similar to the intention that we talked about in the beginning that we use to set the intention for the day. But to clearly see and hear the possibilities for relaxation and peace within my day is a very powerful way to embrace this mauve color. So before we move on to another card or another color, I would love to know from everybody that's watching, how has this hit you? Do you feel like it validates and gives you permission, or do you feel like it ruffles your feathers a little bit? Because there are times that some of these colors kind of ruffle our feathers a little bit and make us think. And sometimes they're meant to do that. But I would love to hear what you think. Okay. So while you're doing that, and let me know, do you want to see one more color card, or do you want to move on to an affirmation card? So thank you for being patient with my little moment with my husband. We have been quarantined because he tested positive for COVID. I am ever grateful that he has been symptom-free all week, but he's been isolated in our camper for I don't know how many days. And we were hoping that he would be able to come out of that isolation, but he had to wait and talk to the health department to say, yes, you're cleared, you're all good. And so he came in just now to help my daughter. So, such a wonderful moment. Thank you for being patient while I welcomed him back. Okay, affirmations. Thank you, Gia. Am I saying that right, Gia? I think that's my one struggle with being live is I always feel affirmations. Here we go again. Is I always feel like I'm saying everybody's name wrong. So this is the Soul Seed affirmation deck. I actually got it off of somebody I follow on Instagram. I love it. There's powerful affirmations. I feel like this is a great deck that you can get a deck like this, or even just random cards at Michael's and write down affirmations that you follow. Thank you. Good. And pull out an affirmation. This is great journaling, self-awareness notion. Is get a deck of affirmation cards or make your own, set it out, pull an affirmation, and then start journaling about how that affirmation makes you feel. And just write down everything. The beautiful thing is you can write it all down in the journal, anything positive or negative, and then you can let that go and walk away from it. And it's a really way to get out of your head what you need to get out of. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to pull one or two affirmations, and then I'll share my intuitive impressions of it. Affirmations. So if you were to come join me for a reading, we would set the intention for you specifically, and then we could pull color cards or we could pull affirmations for you specifically. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Left, right, or center. We'll give everybody the opportunity again. Okay. I'm going to give you the opportunity of left or right. I'm going to definitely take the center one. You guys can choose the second one. How's that sound? Okay, so you've got that one and that one. So while you're choosing left or right, I'm going to go over this affirmation. My full, deep, natural breaths send messages to my brain that I am safe. Well, there you go, Cynthia. This is yours if you're choosing center. So now choose left or right, everybody. Let me know. So I love that this card came up. My full, deep, natural breaths send messages to my brain that I am safe. So much that I want to unpack about this affirmation and this intention. Our breath, when we focus on our breath, on our inhale and exhale as we move through our day. Again, with the right, everybody's feeling the right. As we move through our day and as we're trying to organize, and accomplish all that we want to in our day, when there's a sense of security when everything goes right. And there is a sense of chaos and insecurity that happens when things don't go right. It makes us, it's like our mind and our body are like, oh, wait, something's not right. And it's automatically kind of triggers, almost like it triggers their fight and flight. And it makes us feel unsafe and unordered and can cause some chaos energy in us. So when we take deep, full breaths like we did in the beginning, and we allow ourselves to be in the moment, to breathe and acknowledge where we are physically, acknowledge where we are mentally, and just refocus on our breath, they send us a reminder that we are safe and everything is okay. That the divine universe will support us and everything's going to be okay. And there are times when our anxiety is tripped, that all we can do in that moment is breathe and trust that we are safe. So there's security in breathing through the process of welcoming peaceful relaxation. Sometimes when we are welcoming in the notion of peaceful relaxation, that requires us to reaffirm that we are safe and we are taken care of, and it's okay that we set that down. Hi, Patty. Thank you. Patty, Patricia. I kind of shortened it to Patty and assumed, and maybe that's not right. When we welcome in that peaceful relaxation, we're honoring ourselves and we're honoring a space within ourselves to be safe and to be taken care of. And sometimes just breathing and reminding ourselves we're safe can really be powerful in helping us surrender that which we're trying to take care of. And is this making sense? Let me know in the comments if this is making sense and if it resonates with any of you. If we are choosing peaceful relaxation, choosing moments of peace, choosing to sit down and have that cup of coffee and set the to-do list to the side, or choosing to let things fall apart and move so that we can have moments to read a book, watch a movie, sit and snuggle with somebody that you haven't seen in 7 days. When you choose that, there's this moment when you first let go of how you expect the day to go, or how you expect the week to go, or the month to go. And where you feel like it's almost like you hold on to that, the way you want things ordered, as a security blanket. And when you set that down, it's like, what am I going to do now? Your brain, your body are like, what am I going to do now? So you have to take some deep breaths and remind yourself that you're safe. So I put our mauve color away. I'm going to find it and pull it out. So when we are hearing, the mauve color starts out with the possibilities of hearing and seeing the possibilities of that, welcoming that peace and relaxation in our day. And once we've seen those moments and we have that initial reaction of, oh my God, I don't think I'm safe. I need to have that order. Our mind's like, it's almost like our ego and our mind says, wait, no, I need to order this stuff. It needs to happen this way or I'm not safe. That's familiar. That's comfortable. We need to stay with that. When we welcome that peace and that relaxation into our life, we welcome the idea that we are safe. We are comfortable. without that need to have that order. So we hear and see the possibilities of the peaceful relaxation in our life. Then we trust that we are safe enough to welcome that, and that everything else in our life is safe enough to set down that. This light is intense today. Sorry, I have no way to shut it off. We are safe enough to set down figuring everything else in our day. Then we bring out this right affirmation that everybody chose. My relationships are filled with love, laughter, and true joy. I love the journey these cards take us on. When we, as April says, the ladies in the attic, when we tell the ladies in the attic to shut up for a minute and we listen for the possibilities of peaceful relaxation within our life, and we open to seeing and hearing what is shifting in our day to create that peaceful relaxation, and we remind ourselves that we are worthy of feeling safe, separate from that which we try to accomplish, that we are worthy and we are safe in the process of welcoming this peaceful relaxation, in the process of taking care of ourselves first, that in turn fuels our relationships with ourselves and with others, and that with welcoming this self-care and with welcoming this peace and this relaxation, we are then able to come back to our relationships with more love, more laughter, and more true joy. When we take moments for ourselves, and we take moments to honor our needs first, and we recognize the way the universe, the divine, however you celebrate that divine higher power, the way that the universe presents those possibilities within our life, and we acknowledge them as possibilities, and we acknowledge that we are secure enough to set down our accomplishments, set down the need for validation from our accomplishments, and take care of ourselves, that truly ends up empowering our relationships with more true, deep, solid love, laughter, and true joy. It tells the universe, I see you, I trust you, and I welcome this. It tells our energy how to align so that the universe knows to welcome in more true love, true laughter, and true joy. We are safe, separate from what we are trying to accomplish. Yes, absolutely. And when we welcome that in, and we welcome in a few moments for peace, that totally fills us up with this like this amazing light that's in my window today. It's January. We haven't had sunlight like this. It fills us up with this energetic light that then helps us come to the table of our relationships with a more powerful, balanced mind. And we have relationships not only with the people we live with and the people in our life, but we have relationships with our finances. We have relationships with our work. We have relationships with our home. We have relationships with our space. Anything that we interact with, we have a relationship with. So if you need to welcome in some of that self-care and peaceful relaxation with the intention of, in the end, it's going to help you come to the world better, and that gives you permission to do it, so be it. However you create that space for yourself. So tell me how this hits you. Tell me how this makes you feel. A lot of times I love that the cards took us on a journey, and that with 3 cards, it tells us to hear the possibilities, trust that we're safe within those possibilities, and then it tells us how those possibilities are going to help us within our day. So this is a format where I would love, let's bring it to, well, we still have a few minutes. Let me know of any questions you have. And I would love to bring it down to a in-life process. So these are all great notions. They're great divine knowledge and wisdom that sits in our mind and our awareness and up in these upper chakras. But how do we implement and recognize that within our life? what can we do to take this and recognize it within our day-to-day life? So let's talk life scenario. We talked earlier about Cynthia's scenario. We talked about how she was vulnerable and willing to share with us how her technical issues shifted how this event was supposed to go. I'm grateful for the possibility of coming here and sharing this with you and having these moments to welcome in some of this intuitive insight. But it also created space for her to acknowledge that it's okay that she sees this as a moment of peaceful relaxation. And that when she takes moments to feel safe in that peaceful relaxation, later today, she can bring a better energy to her relationships and to how she interacts with her day. So for me, a life experience that I recognize this pattern in is yesterday I was energetically drained. I was emotional and didn't really know why. And I was trying to participate in an event and I just couldn't. So I surrendered. I left. And it made me feel nervous and insecure that everybody was going to see it as me crumbling, or everybody was going to see my wounded self and, oh my God, what are they going to think? And I was nervous and felt very insecure for a very long time. Well, not a very long time, but I felt nervous and secure, and it sat in that for a minute, reminded myself that it's okay. So what? They see me like this. How is that a bad thing? I'm safe. I'm protected. This is happening for a reason. I honor how I feel and I honor this. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to read a book. And me and the kids went outside. They played in the snow. They laughed. I sat on my little love seat, wrapped in a blanket, and read a book. And it was just sunny and peaceful and laughter, and we hadn't had a whole lot of that this week. And then I was much more able to bring a better energy to my relationships that night. I was much more able to be with my girls that night and not be caught up in my mindset. So that's how I connect these notions into my day. Gia says, this also had to with shifting my day and working with surrender when I can't control things. Yes, absolutely. Yes, when allowing you to shift that in your day and work with surrendering with what you can't control. I can't control this. I really want to, and I'm kind of freaking out because I can't. But maybe there's more that I can hear and see within my day that benefits me more. So what is that? Okay, here's me freaking out because I can't control my day. I see that. I recognize that. I feel that within myself. But what else are the possibilities? And you totally are recognizing that when you surrender that, you acknowledge that, but you leave it over there and you turn, you're opening up to the possibilities within your day. And I'm glad that I got to meet you too, Gia. Thank you. So then you'll be able to go into your day later with more awareness. Oh, yay! Well, I'm excited to hear what you have to share next week, Gia. And I'm grateful for you sharing this space with me today. Experience shift within today. Yes, I'm grateful for you being open, Gia, and to acknowledging your ability to surrender to what you can't control. And it's not, when we surrender what we can't control, it's not surrendering the part of ourselves that wants to be productive and wants to create things within our life. We're not sacrificing that part of ourselves. We're acknowledging that that part of ourselves needs to sit for a minute and acknowledging that there's more to us besides that need to order and create. And I forgot the word that I was using, move forward. So thank you both for sharing that. I love that. And I'm excited to see what Gia has to share next week. And who knows, maybe there'll be something that pops up in your relationships with yourself or with your work or within your life that gives you more tools to share whatever you want to share with the world. So These are we ended up doing more affirmations than color cards. I'm going to leave these out and take a picture. Anybody else have any life experiences they would like to share? Is there anything actually currently that you are working with in your life that you want to implement these notions with? Is there something you need a reminder of surrender you can't control? Right. Yes. And I think those are the two words, the two phrases that really are popping into everybody's mind, is the notion that surrendering what we can't control is a important part of allowing peaceful relaxation into our life. It's like they run hand in hand. We've often wrapped this notion of peaceful relaxation in this beautiful gift wrapped cellophane, beautiful ribbon package that's already prepared for us, that all we have to do is open up and bam, we get to feel this peaceful relaxation. Well, that's great, but there's so much that happens with us emotionally, mentally, energetically, physically, that it does become an act of surrendering what we can't control to allow that in. And we have to give it permission. It's the notion, like we talked about earlier with the divine and that divine energy, and how there's like this stoic quietness and patience that the divine sits there and leaves these possibilities around us. Doesn't judge us for not picking them up whatsoever. That judgment is within us. And that surrender gives the universe permission to bring more of that. It gives the universe permission. It tells the universe that we are opening up to allowing this into our life. We're opening up to recognizing the possibilities that this brings into our life. And we're opening up to the idea of how this affects my life moving forward. So when we aren't listening to seeing that, when we're not open to that possibilities, sometimes things have to move to push us to seeing that a little bit more. It's like they encourage us to be open to that possibility a little bit more by creating space in our life, like it did for Cynthia today, which I think is exactly what she's saying. God keeps nudging me with this. So thank you for prompting me to surrender control and the reminder of my safety. I feel a bit of digging in your future, like plant work digging. I was reading that. Okay. Cynthia says, God keeps nudging me with this. So thank you for prompting me to surrender control and to the reminder of my safety. I feel a bit of digging in my future today. I love that. So, oh my God, when you say digging, I automatically think of all the plants that I need to repot and the potting soil that I don't have. I know it's completely random, but I love that, Cynthia. Thank you. And thank you for creating the space for us to witness this and to acknowledge it within our life. Internal digging. Okay. Well, so when we talk about digging and I automatically go and like I see the dirt and I see the soil and I'm automatically attached to the notion of, we're going to go with this a little bit before we finish up, because the fact that you talk about a bit of digging in your future today and you talk about internal digging, the image in my mind was automatically of a plant that has been potted for a while and it's not receiving water right, it's not nourishing right, and the plant is kind of starting to not die off, but leaves are falling off and it's not looking as beautiful as what it could. What happens when you create a new environment for that plant? You take the plant out of its pot and you give it new soil and you nurture it and you ruffle up some of that energy within the pot. You ruffle up some of the soil and you loosen up the roots a little bit. It creates a whole new environment for it to grow. It plants the seed. It plants the energy for new growth and new expansion because you've created a new environment. So allowing ourselves to create that peaceful relaxation moment creates a new environment for us to expand on a bigger level. So I love that you talked about digging, and the image of an old potted plant comes into play, because it's our peaceful relaxation is creating more. It's like loosening our roots. We've been potted in a pot for too long and we can't do what we need to do. So we need to loosen our roots and expand out so that we can create more growth. We just have to change pots. Time to change pots, right? Thank you for that, Cynthia. I love that. So there we go. Wow. I love how they take on, I don't know, there's always a journey. There's always a story. There's always a journey. And I love working with these cards, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been here with you all today. Anybody have any questions, any thoughts, any ideas? When we're done, I would love to finish off with just take that light that we created in the beginning and shift it. Also changes our DNA. Absolutely. Love that. There's so much of us. We work on such a dynamic level with our mind, body, soul, with our emotional selves, mental selves, physical selves, energetic, spiritual selves. There's so much of that intertwines that we understand on such a broader level than we ever did before. And we understand that on a broader level because we allowed ourselves the space to expand. But there's also moments of rest in that expansion that need to happen. So it connects it at as Gia said, at like a DNA level, all through us, core. Very cool. Yeah, so I would love to take a moment, take a few deep breaths. And I would love for you to bring yourself back to that light that we talked about in the beginning. Imagine that beautiful light that surrounds you and that rolls through you, that has supported you through this process this morning. And I want you to imagine that it becomes a sprinkle, as if a rainstorm is slowly shutting off, or a shower is slowly shutting off. Imagine that this white light starts to wash over you, seeping into the earth beneath you, nourishing your body, your mind, in the rich soil that supports your growth. Maybe you imagine that this light washes over your eyes and through your ears and through your throat, helping you embrace the divine possibilities of peace and relaxation within your day. And while you sit in this light, I'm going to finish off with this intention. Today, we bring a peaceful approach to all that we do. Instead of hurrying and worrying, we remain calm, relaxed, and unruffled. We choose peace in our mind, in our body, and within our soul. Alrighty. Thank you, April. I love you all too. I'm grateful for the possibilities. And anybody has any questions or wants to share anything, feel free to message me. And you can find me at Unique Beauty and Meditation as on Instagram, on Facebook, as well as my website, uniquebeautyandmeditation.com. Alrighty. And I think we're all set if nobody has any more questions. And I do have a unique jewelry Instagram as well, where I share affirmation jewelry to set the intention of what energy we want to welcome into our life. I know, I get to go hug my husband. My God, I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you all, and have a uniquely beautiful day, and honor your unique divine expression and what your unique divine needs are. Now I gotta figure out what I'm doing on here.